Hello and welcome to the first episode of TVG Talk. Today we'll be talking Nintendo digitalization. My name is Paco Trevino.
My name is Lauro Chapa.
And I'm Carlos Cáceres.
And we'll be talking about three different aspects of this digitalization. The first is Virtual Console, the eShop, and DLC. Okay, and the first topic that we'll be talking about today is the Virtual Console. Lauro, what do you have to say about the Virtual Console? What thoughts?
I think the Virtual Console is great. I mean, it's a very good tool so that people that didn't have those consoles in the past can play those games, because there are some really good games out there that people don't know about.
Actually, well, I think that's quite true. A month ago, more or less, my Nintendo 64 died, so I was quite sad. But with the Virtual Console, I was able to, let's say, save most of the games that I had, Mario Party 2 and Mario 64. I think it's great that Nintendo give us that option.
Yeah, and well, the problem that I see with the Virtual Console right now is that we have technically three different systems to play Virtual Console games on, and all three have very different libraries. And the problem that I have with this is that the distribution doesn't always make sense. For example, we do get NES games on the 3DS, but that's all the home console games that we get. Then on the Wii U, we get the Game Boy Advance, which is a handheld, but we don't have N64, or GameCube, which is actually a contemporary of the Game Boy Advance. And then on the Wii, we do get N64, but we don't have any of these other new things that are coming out. And it's actually the only console where we get all these other non-Nintendo consoles, like the original Atari, the Sega Genesis, all these classic systems. But overall, I think that the Virtual Console has an ever-growing library, and that's actually what matters, that it's not put on hold, it's actually growing. The second topic that we'll be talking about today is the eShop. What do we mean by eShop? We're actually talking about eShop exclusive titles, whether indie type of thing or games actually released by Nintendo, like Dr. Luigi or Donkey Kong, Mario vs. Donkey Kong
Tipping Stars.
Tipping Stars, yeah, I'm sorry. So, Carlos, what do you have to say about this? What's your opinion on this?
The eShop, well, what can I say? I really love the eShop. I think it gives us gamers a lot of opportunities to get games that we could sometimes miss. For example, the latest remake of The Legend of Zelda, the 3DS? I heard that, well, I was actually trying to buy it, let's say, I don't know, a few months ago, but the thing is, I couldn't find the game, the physical game, and let's say that a year or 2 years ago, that would be a real problem. But with the eShop, I could easily, download the game. I believe it's the future, really. And I will dare to say that maybe in, let's say, 15, 20 years, all the physical copies of games will disappear and be exchanged for digital copies.
Yeah, and this gives us a great opportunity for indie developers as well. Like
That's right.
Like, for example, the very popular right now Shovel Knight, SteamWorld Dig, Trine, all these very popular titles made by indie developers that maybe if they came out like 10 years ago, nobody would have looked at because they were maybe too expensive, because they were a retail title instead of a digital. So, yeah, I think that this is very positive for indie developers. Laura, what do you think of this?
I think a point that we haven't touched on is the Mario and Donkey Kong Tipping Stars. They implemented the cross-buy strategy, which if you buy the Wii U game, you get the 3DS one, or vice versa. So I think that's a very cool feature.
That's important.
Yeah, that's actually very cool. And actually, it's supposed to be a thing now, because, for example, in this generation, we saw titles like they were counterparts, like Super Mario 3D Land and Super Mario 3D World, and they were titles that were equivalent. So maybe we will stop seeing that, and we will start seeing the same title released for both systems, one in 3D and the other in HD.
Yeah, I think Nintendo are testing the waters on this with this new game.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay, so the last topic that we'll be talking about today is DLC. Now, today we'll be only discussing DLC released by Nintendo. So any third party that has DLC on the eShop, say Assassin's Creed 3, Splinter Cell, those will be deleted to the side by now. So we'll be only talking about Nintendo properties. Laura, what do you think about DLC?
I think Nintendo makes one of the greatest DLCs of all because they release free DLCs and paid DLCs, but the paid DLCs are actually really good in quality. You know, like the new Mario Kart 8 DLC. It has 4 new tournaments, 4 new cups, and 6 new characters. So in the game you have 8 cups. That's half of the game, you know, only in DLC.
It's half the game for almost like a quarter of the price.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's actually a very good deal right there.
That's right. Well, as Laura says, I'm actually quite happy with how Nintendo is, well, dealing with the DLC. Let's say there is a little part of me that's quite afraid that we will see Nintendo turn as the next EA, but I have to say that so far they're actually doing pretty good.
Well,
they are really selling, let's say, additional content. They are not selling half-made games. That's something that I think that Nintendo should be proud of, and I'm really proud of.
Well, I think Nintendo is the furthest away company from becoming the next EA. I mean,
Keep it that way.
yeah, I mean, like Laura was saying, first we get free DLC. Like, granted, it's not that much, but it's free DLC. It's free stuff that they're giving away.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually think that this is a very cool idea because they first test like how DLC might work for a title and then say, okay, we get an idea. Let's release the actual DLC packs with their prices and all this. So.
Oh, that's completely right what you're saying. I just hope nothing changes in that way because they are doing great.
Yeah, and they're not even shy of releasing DLC. I mean, how much DLC does Siren Warriors have?
A lot
I
of
mean,
yeah.
It actually is supposed to have more hours of gameplay in the DLC and in the updates that are technically free DLC because they raise the level barrier, all these things, and all the hours of gameplay that provide. Like it's insane actually.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's actually great.
Actually, it is.
Yeah. Well, one side note that we wanted to talk about was other media on the eShop, particularly video. For example, we have now Netflix, YouTube, recently Crunchyroll, Hulu Plus, like all these apps that are available on the Wii U eShop. And oddly enough, on the 3DS in Japan, we have you can get Up, the Disney movie, which is kind of odd considering that it's not for the Wii U. It's only for the 3DS. It's kind of odd, like not take advantage of the HD.
Yeah.
But I think that those are little baby steps towards something new, something different. What do you guys think about that, Lauro?
Yeah, I think that's a must for any console nowadays, and I think that can maybe lead to exclusive shows or movies from Nintendo released in the Wii U or 3DS.
Yeah, I think so too.
Actually, I think we already have one of those. We have on the 3DS an app. I'm not sure how it was called, but it makes some dinosaur cartoons. Like they release kind of like weekly. Those are, I think, Nintendo 3DS exclusive.
Oh
no,
they're not.
They're not?
The dinosaur office thing.
They're from College Humor.
Yeah, they're College Humor videos.
Well,
but
we do have a movie, the Pikmin short, which is not a full-fledged movie, but it's some cool short.
It's about 20 minutes of content right there.
It's curious you say that because as Miyamoto said, that's an experiment. So, as Paco said before, this may be getting onto something.
Yeah.
It will be, well, I imagine myself seeing shows of Nintendo.
Yeah, like why not bring like all those 80s and 90s cartoons like back, like with Captain N and
Excuse me, princess.
Yeah, why not? I mean,
no, please,
for the right price, maybe free. Why not? Okay, folks. I think that settles it for today. Thanks a lot for watching TVG Talk. and see you next time.